The van. Okay, go ahead.
Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Southern California, the high desert. Navajo land.
I know the high desert.
Apple Valley. I was born in Riverside, and I was raised in Apple Valley, and I came here from Florida.
You grew up with mom and dad?
No, I grew up with mom, and then I was a foster kid for a long time, and just my mom and my brother, and then foster care, and then yeah, that was it.
How old were you when you went into foster care?
Of 12 going on 13.
Why did you go into foster care?
Child sexual abuse, mental abuse, and physical abuse.
Boom.
It was a landlord, like a friend of my mom's. He was also our landlord. Is that weird? It's totally weird. Yeah, the victimizing landlord. Yes. He was my mom's boyfriend / landlord.
And then when you went into foster care, what was that like at 12?
Oh, that was worse than being at home. Almost. It might have been. Maybe the same. There was many different homes, so there was a couple of good ones. Don't get me wrong. No, you can have it. Don't forget food bank. All right, food bank tomorrow. The name Maddie, okay? And I will.
That's not your name.
No, talk to a lady named Maddie, and that's how you'll find your bike.
I don't know if I have any place to put another bike, but I guess in your.
That's where you will find your bike tomorrow, unless you can find a way to come get it today. All right. Sorry about that. Where were we? What were we
I was
talking
asking
about?
about foster care. You said there was.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of homes, but there was a couple good ones. So there was like a couple of foster homes that were like not in it for the money, you know what I mean? That weren't in it for just a paycheck, and that they really, really were trying to help. But I had one goal, you know, and that was to get in the same home with my brother. So I did a lot of running away. I thought that would work. It did at once, and then I ran away from there.
And the foster home that weren't so good. Why was that?
Well, they were clearly in it for the paycheck, and they, you know, a lot of us were treated like slaves. You know, you do this, like Cinderella. I remember being in one home where, like, within my first couple of days, I spent the whole day in the backyard flipping rocks. Don't ask me why. I'll never understand why. That's, you know, yeah. Things like that. I wonder if it was just for their own fucking amusement. I don't know. Little things like that. Just stupid fucking shit like that.
And was school a part of foster care?
Yeah. Where I grew up, there was a lot of racism. White people were a minority, which is whatever, no big deal to me. But I got bullied a lot. I got racially discriminated against a lot. Plus, I had red hair and freckles, so that didn't help at all. You know, and I was underdeveloped until I was like 15. And then it just fucking turned into the swan. And don't take that literally now, because that's not what's happening right now. My swan went right back to the ugly duckling. Okay. There was a lot of fighting and, you know, sticking up for yourself and sticking up for the underdog. So I did a lot of being bullied and a lot of bullying the bully, if that makes any sense. Yeah, good times.
You mentioned you have a brother.
Yeah, little brother. Younger brother.
Just one, you and your brother.
Yeah. I practically raised him. Because my mom was also a hard not fucking person to be around growing up, but she was also, in hindsight, then I didn't think so, but in hindsight, she's also, she's had a troubled, very, very troubled life. So I try not to blame her anymore. I used to.
So you grew up with, you said your mom.
Yeah. That was it. Just my mom, me and my brother.
12.
Yeah.
You, your mom, and your brother.
Yeah.
And where was your dad?
Who fucking knows? With his wives or girlfriends, and all his hundreds of kids. No, I don't know how many kids he's got. To be completely honest with you, I know it's a few. I know of most of them. I think. I hope.
So when you...
My dad was a ladies' man.
When you got out of foster care at 18?
No, I got out of foster care. I was 16, going on 17. 16. Yeah. I was 16 years old when I got out of foster care. Or 15, almost 16, one of the two.
What did you do?
Well, my mom got married to an asshole. Although everybody thought he was great because he was from Arkansas. And, he helped my mom quit drinking and shit. So at first I was all for it. But he turned out to be a real jackass. Don't tell him I said that. He's kind of scary. And tall. My mom got married and ended up getting, getting stable enough for us to go home. And so I came home first, and then my brother, which I thought was crazy. Thought it should have been the opposite. My brother came home Thanksgiving Day. And it was okay for a minute. I got a boyfriend and then another one and another one. And a girlfriend. Shit. Krista. She was so cute. She was a Puerto Rican and white, and she was fucking cute. And she drew her eyebrows on because that was a thing back then in the 90s. In Southern California. You shave your eyebrows off so you can draw them on. I don't know. They were all doing it, except for me because I had red hair and freckles, and it just wouldn't have looked right. It would be like Pippi Longstocking would draw it on eyebrows. It would have been really bad. But I mean, it was okay. And then my mom went back to jail for a little bit. Because my stepdad had fucking lots of guns and knives under the bed, and she was on parole, I think. She was on parole. And so that's not allowed. In her defense, she's told him that many times. As far as the story goes, I think that's what happened. And in his defense, he's an asshole. And he should have fucking listened. He should have got rid of the guns and knives. I mean, just to put them, you got to shop, move them. I'm just saying, just thinking in hindsight. So she got arrested, and he left. He went to the shop and left me to take care of my brother, which was great. I didn't mind. I sold a little bit of marijuana, and that kind of helped me find him a place to stay, safe with a friend of mine, and that's that. And I stayed with my boyfriend, who I thought I was in love with. It turns out I wasn't, because then I had found out that I liked Louis better. This is a true story. I was 16, fucking. I thought I was promiscuous, but I wasn't really promiscuous because I wasn't really like. I guess promiscuity is when you're having sex with lots of people, but I wasn't having sex with lots of people. I was just bouncing from different boyfriends to boyfriends. Because I thought that was promiscuous, but really it was just, I don't know, being a teenager. Come to find out. Yeah. From there, my mom ended up coming out of jail, and her and the stepdad showed up at my boyfriend's door and was like, "Hey, we're moving to Big Bear." I was like, "But no, I love him." And my social worker said, "No, you had to go." So I went, and that's where I met Louis. And he was cuter. And he had a dog. And he lived right downstairs. It was convenient, I guess. Joe didn't like that very much. Anyways, that's what happened.
How long were you guys in Big Bear?
Oh, well, like a year or so.
And after that,
I left while I was in Big Bear. I freaking got in a huge fight with my mom. And, she headbutted me in the face, and I flipped her off, and my uncle threw me out into the snow, and my grandma was like, "It'll be okay. Here's Aunt Donna's number. Make sure you call her if you need anything." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And I stuffed it in the pocket and forgot about it. I needed that fucking number eventually. That's a different story.
where did Aunt Donna live?
She was in Washington State, believe it or not. Aunt Donna and Uncle Bruce are my favorites. They're my favorite aunt and my favorite uncle. Yeah, actually. They're Auburn Pacific area, like next to the White River. You can see Mount Rainier out there in the front window. It's beautiful.
After Big Bear, you went to...
After Big Bear, I went to Pahrump, Nevada with a Louis. And then there was a, short-lived... I ended up having to come back. I tried to get back to Big Bear, but ended up waking up in Orange County, California. Date rape, I believe, so. Anyways, long story short, I escaped on my 18th birthday, and that's where Aunt Donna's phone number came in handy. And I got a bus ticket, and I was on a Greyhound bus at 18 years old from California to Washington State. And then I met a guy, and he had shrooms, and I had 2 pockets full of fucking shrooms on my 18th birthday and a Greyhound. So that was pretty good, just saying. It went pretty well. I didn't feel him very much, but when I was 18, I was like, this is awesome. I got pockets full of shrooms. And then I met my Uncle Bruce for like the first time in years. And he's awesome. He got a big old Uncle Bruce hug, and we became really close, so that was awesome. I love my Uncle Bruce. And then my Aunt Donna turned out to be a real fucking like firecracker and fucking piece of work. Like, she was so fucking fun to be around. And I worked at the amphitheaters and got to see a bunch of concerts, and fucking used to wear a lot of tube tops until one came off in front of people, and I couldn't get it back on in time, and there was a weird situation with pit bulls. Let's not get into that. And then, that's needless to say, I don't wear those anymore. That's embarrassing. But Sierra was going to eat those fucking puppies, and I don't understand what the hell they were doing just standing there. They should have left the puppies. Dumbasses. I should have let her eat the puppies. But I like puppies. Sierra's a fucking pit bull. And she did not like other pit bull puppies. But she was an awesome dog. She was a good dog.
So that's how you got to Washington?
Yeah.
What about, how did you get to Seattle?
Actually, I left Washington and I went to Texas to meet my half-sister. And that's where I met my ex-husband. Well, he's still legally my husband, I think. I haven't technically gotten a divorce. Back in 2005, that same year, I got married. Oh, well, the same month I got married, I got pregnant. 9 months later, I had my first daughter, who is a turkey baby. She is 15 now. And she's drop dead gorgeous. So watch out now. And I got also a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old out of that marriage. All girls. And then I moved to Florida. I actually moved to Florida when my first was 9.5 months old. I forgot about that. Followed the mother-in-law here. Or there. And stayed there for a long time. I just came here from Florida not too long ago.
Where are your 3 girls?
They're with their dad, Palm Coast. Hopefully. If he asks the demons, they're telling me differently. But I don't believe it.
When was the last time you've seen them?
Oh, it's too long. Little toughy. Tough subject. Thank God this isn't like national fucking television. I swear to God. Or the news or something. Or Facebook. That'd be scary too. It's just as public. My oldest daughter, I think, was 11 going on 12. Yeah, my youngest was 6. I talked to my oldest one over the phone a couple of times since, but I think they have some abandonment issues, maybe. But, they don't understand the circumstances behind the reasons why. So I understand. And, I don't want, my oldest is 15. I don't push myself on her. It might make it worse, so. Sorry. I don't think I should force myself on her,
What state?
Florida.
So you just came from Florida not too long ago?
Yeah. I've been separated from my ex-husband for like 10 years, so. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the girls. And things didn't go like I thought. I thought it would be a lot easier than it was. I was naive. I guess nothing ever goes as planned, does it? But on a side note, all 3 of my girls are fucking, in a good place and got good grades, and I know my oldest daughter made National Junior Honor Society, so I don't regret leaving them where I left them. You know what I mean? I don't have any regrets where that's concerned. I know that I left them there because it would have been selfish for me to take them with me. I just wish that it would have been a little different. That's all.
So how did you get to Ballard?
Well, I was doing really good, and I had a nice little job, and a nice little. Well, no, it was actually a really shitty trailer. But I had the money, and I was getting ready to move into a new trailer, and I had a couple pit bulls and some fucking cats, a whole bunch of them, like 6 of them, little hellions. And then I just developed some new mental health issues that I didn't know how to handle. And I thought that maybe I could get some mental health support from my brother. But it turns out I'm actually hindering him. That kind of sucks because I didn't think that through very well. I kind of needed to get away from Florida anyways. It's just, there was nothing left there for me aside from the girls, But mental health support wise, I had nothing there, so I needed that. And my brother is here. My brother was actually born in Seattle, and he'd been here homeless in Seattle for a while now. So I thought, that's me and my brother are close, so I thought that's the best place I can go for mental health support. And he does try really freaking hard, but I think that he doesn't know how to handle it, and I don't either, so I don't expect him to. But I mean, he does try really hard. But I think that I'm just I'm putting a lot. I think it's a lot for him to take, because he's never seen me like this before. So he's used to me being like really strong and like fucking independent and like never weak in the mind, So always like on point and fun and stuff like kind of today you caught me on a good day, actually. So you caught me on a good day, so good job.
What are the other days like?
Torturous. Yeah.
How so?
Well, because I have to hear things that like are really inappropriate and scary and disturbing and where my kids are concerned and stuff. It's like nothing that a mother should ever have to hear. And there's no like cure to voices. Or schizoaffective is what they call it. It's the same thing as schizophrenia. So there's no cure for that. They either go away or they don't. Hopefully they will eventually go away. I've heard stories. I heard a couple good stories from people that say theirs have gone away, but we'll see.
And is that there's a different accent? Is that
No, that's just for no. I think it's just play. Yeah, it's play. It's practicing. I don't know. I've always been a fan of the little accents and stuff. My brother does really good impressions of fucking everybody, so this is my way of like catching up, I guess. No, I like that accent. I don't know what it is. I just think it's funny. I like using it. I know I haven't quite got it down yet, but I wish I would have been this good when I was working the phones, because I might have made a lot more sales, even though I was very good.
They have me fooled.
Really? I did it. There was a CEO in jail once who asked me where I was from. So I guess I'm doing pretty good. She really thought. I asked her if she wanted some tea or something like that. Would you like some tea? I think I said, would you like some tea with the crumpets? And she was like, where are you from?
How long have you been living? You live in the van?
No, this is not my van.
Okay.
This is just a van that sits here all the time. I see it. I like it. I like the van because it's got dog on the window. And I recognize it. It's kind of homey because I've fucking pitched a tent right there before. So, but no, and plus it's blocking my view of the things that everybody went through a sweep today. So, which is where the city comes through and sweeps all the homeless people and their stuff off. I get why they do it, but it kind of sucks at the same time. So I had limited time, so I kind of moved it around the corner and put it in front of the van, so it's kind of blocking view, and I can go through it and kind of organize it and wait to hopefully see my brother who's got the tent, so I can set it up and put the stuff in there.
So your brother's right in Ballard here?
Yes, my brother just got a tiny home, so he's probably in the fucking tiny home and forgot all about me. But I'm sure. Hopefully he'll come and check on me eventually. I'm sure he usually does. If not, I'll just lock it all up and tidy it up and go to a friend's house and see if that friend can help me with that.
How long have you been out here?
How long have I been where?
Here, living here?
In Ballard?
Yeah.
I came to Seattle January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, so sometime in the end of June, beginning of July, or somewhere, maybe mid-July, somewhere around there, June or July. of last year. And then I came to Ballard, I think probably within the first month or so. Probably shortly after I got robbed of my ID and my social and my everything. And my phones. Which wasn't the part that bothered me. It was, camping out on Washington Street for 6 days waiting for my brother to finally get out of jail. Although I didn't know he was in jail at the time. But that's where he was. It turned out he got locked up. And anyways, I actually left to try to find him, and I took the bus the wrong way. And I was trying to go to Bellevue, and I ended up in Ballard, and I fell in love. And then I brought my brother here, and here we are.
How do you cope? Are drugs a part of how you cope?
I started coping, I wouldn't really call it coping. I don't really cope very well. Coping, I use food. I use scavenging. I use carving my sticks and making stabs and walking sticks and stuff like that. Those are things that I use for coping skills. Singing, and music also. Trying to talk. I try to talk a lot, or either talk to myself or talk to somebody, so that I don't have to listen. If that makes any sense. It's much easier to talk than to listen now. Those are coping skills. Drugs I actually use for managing my anxiety. And I don't use drugs. I use a drug. It's called meth. Or clear shards. I mean, I've learned all kinds of different terms for it now. But yes, I use it to cope with my anxiety. Yes, I do use that for coping with that. Yeah, I guess I would call it that. You can call it that. I'm not proud of it. Don't tell everybody.
Is there something that
Especially not my kids.
want the city of Seattle, people of Seattle, or Ballard to know?
I love Ballard. I want people in Ballard to know that you can't pay your way into heaven or buy your way out of hell. And that even I didn't realize that I was taking a lot of things for granted. Your sanity is something that seems so fucking easy, but it's something you don't ever want to lose. Even I'm really quick to judge people, and usually I do it lightheartedly and all in good fun. But I don't want their assumption. There's one thing that I want people to understand, that I don't hear voices because I do drugs. I do drugs because I hear voices. You understand? There's an assumption there, and they're fucking totally ass backwards. With some of us, not all of us. I can't speak for everybody, but that's how it is for me. And I'm sure that's how it's like for a lot of people. A lot of us, you have that same assumption. We get that judgment all the time. Well, stop smoking meth. Well, fucking tell the voices to shut the fuck up then. Then I might be able to stop doing that. You know? They call it psychosis. No. That's totally different. I've been psychosis before. It's not the same. You know? Another thing that I would like to tell Ballard is how beautiful I think it is. I think it's probably the prettiest thing I've ever seen in one of the most prettiest places I've ever seen in my life. I think it looks like it came right out of a Hallmark Christmas movie. And I fell in love with it pretty much immediately. The food bank is hands down the best food bank I've ever been to in my entire life, and I've been to lots of food banks. Just saying. Most of the people here are pretty awesome. Some of them need to be a little bit more patient and observant. And I feel like Ballard is my home. I feel like I belong here. I feel like I know I've been here before, considering I've had deja vu almost every fucking day since I've been here. How weird is that?
Too.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. Even I know that's weird. And I'm weird. Yes, that's crazy. No, it was every day. Honestly, it was every day. But now it's more like once or twice a week. But, yeah. I love it. I like it here. I love it here. I love it. I feel like I have a calling, and I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be finishing my task.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. That's what's up.
Hug. Are you open now?
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for sharing the hard stuff.
Yes,
It's hard.
I've done it many times before. You know, I've had to talk to therapists and psychiatrists before. Yeah. It's good. It's good for people to know those types of things. You know, and it's good for people to hear our stories. I think that's great. I think what you're doing is amazing. I think that's a great idea. You got laid off for a great reason. I'm just sorry. Don't take that offensively, but I think it's a great idea. I love it. I think it's great. Yeah. I think what you're doing is amazing.